What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, we're here back with what's considered normal in Europe but horrific in America. This is going to be interesting. I think I did one or two videos like this before, but we got some new ones. We got some new, I guess, experiences here with the askreddit or something. It's all for Reddit. It's all for Reddit. I know Reddit still getting more, learning more about Reddit and seeing how it works, So this is definitely interesting. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and let's see what's considered normal in Europe.
What's considered normal in Europe, but horrific in America? Underage drinking seems more of a crime in the US. In most cases, if a kid is caught with alcohol in the UK, it's just confiscated and poured away. Strictly speaking, the age you can drink alcohol is really low as well. So long as you're home with a parent, I think it's like 5.
Dang.
6. When you're in a restaurant, you're also allowed low percentage alcohol, like the idea with a meal, so long as you're with an adult.
Wow.
As a Czech person, my American wife was blown away that we let kids in pubs or bars. To be honest, I do like being an adult-only spaces in American bars.
True.
They're allowed in every pub and bar.
Dang.
In the US. Honestly, probably has a lot more to do with, since our drinking age is so high, we want to keep teens from stealing people's unfinished drinks. But the bonus of being able to smoke on a bar patio without gassing some kids, I never smoke near children, is a nice benefit.
Hey, that I ain't gonna lie, that's a good point though, cause I mean, people don't mind smoking weed or smoking cigarettes, like, and blowing it in kids' face too. To be honest, like, I feel like that could be a problem. That's a problem too. Secondhand smoke killing people faster than people that are actually smoking.
Without gassing some kids, I never smoke near children, is a nice benefit. Doesn't apply to every European country, but prison sentences are a lot shorter. Life in prison without parole is extremely rare, and many countries do not have such sentences. For example, the maximum sentence here in Finland is called life in prison, but the average time spent in prison before release is 14 years for them.
Wow, I did a video about a prison. I think it was in Finland. And the guy was actually, he had a life sentence, but he was able to move around, go different places. I think he was like getting an education. And he was able to go to his classes or go meet with people and different things like that and just return back, no problem. So you telling me a life sentence is really just 13, 14 years? That's different, because there's people doing life sentences now that pretty much did not commit a crime. They still haven't found the evidence. I feel like that's pretty messed up, that you're over here taking people's lives away from them without having evidence of what they did. Like, it sucks for a lot of people in prison in the US.
Time spent in prison before release is 14 years for them. Some countries in Europe have church taxes. The state collects money through the taxation system and hands a slice of it over to the national church or state-paid clergy. Few days ago in our Ask Europe, someone told a story how their American relatives got so bent out of shape over naked children running around the beach. On every beach in Bulgaria I've been, naked children is the norm. Women sunbathing in monokini is considered absolutely normal.
Monokini?
While naked men
What's
are
that?
okay only in the nude sections of the beaches.
What is monokini?
And every beach has a nude section. I was in Croatia back in July, and a tour guide talked about different tourists' attitudes toward nudity. He said Americans are never naked or topless on the beach. Some French and Italians might occasionally go topless.
Man, I couldn't. I don't think I could. I don't think I honestly could. Like, I see this talked about a lot in some of the other videos. I couldn't. I don't think I could go nude anywhere. Like, I couldn't, man.
Croatians are similar to the French and Italians. But Germans. The Croatians put signs up on beaches where nudity isn't allowed, and the signs are written only in German.
Wow.
He said the German tourists would be naked as soon as they could see the water otherwise. Where do I start? German here. Living in the US. How about TV tax? I bet Americans would go bonkers over it. I mean, so do Germans.
TV tax.
But wait for it. It's a classic what can you do? I was studying abroad in Norway when someone came to my door to ask how many TVs I had. I thought it was a student asking for a research project or something. But when they didn't accept, when I said 0 I got really confused. I just had a laptop I watched all my TV on. They thought that meant I had a TV and tried to tell me that any TV would be something like 60 or so, and how would I be paying I don't know, can't remember. It's been a long time. I of course was 100% convinced I was being shaken down by a con artist or something.
Had to be.
It rose to the level that they came into my apartment without my permission and looked around for a TV and was acting like they didn't believe I didn't have one. Eventually they just went away. It was a bizarre encounter that likely wasn't helped by the fact my Norwegian did not expand much past where is the bathroom and how are you at that point.
Wait, so first of all, there's a TV tax. Secondly, dudes just barged in his house looking for a TV. That sense, I would have been like, hold up, man. Nah, we ain't finna do this. Hold up. Would have had to slowly but surely, nicely, escort them out. But
being completely naked in a sauna mixed men and women. This is also not normal in the UK. But perfectly normal in some European countries on the continent. Being from the UK, I was surprised the first time I went into a hotel spa abroad and literally all the men and women in there were completely at ease with being naked. No attempt whatsoever to cover genitals when in Rome. I don't know if this would horrify Americans as I've never heard it discussed, but where I live in Europe, Luxembourg, voting is mandatory and you can get fined for not voting in an election. You can still spoil your ballot, so you don't have to decide between lesser evils if you don't want to, but you have to make the effort to go to the polling station or submit a postal vote. It guarantees a high voter turnout and by extension more representative elections, coupled with a proportional voting system, so we are not locked into a two-party mess like the UK or the US. Not that it's without its issues, of course, but I think it's an improvement. Kids being naked at water play areas. It
seems like being naked is a huge shocker for Americans. I mean, I don't think there's too many nude places, but I mean, you could go. There is like places that do allow this. I guess it's just not common in common areas, mainly. But I feel like this happens. But just I don't know how to explain it, but I think that's crazy. That's a lot. I feel like that's one of the main horrific things is being nude on the beach and the park, and I guess nudity is a big thing in Europe, I believe.
Kids being naked at water play areas. When I was about 10, I took my American friend to a play park that had a water feature to play in. We were making our way to the water play section when a girl, I'd say about 2, was walking naked towards us.
Oh my God.
My American friend was mortified, and it took a lot of explaining that this was normal. At least in Germany, nudity. No one cares if you're naked.
Oh my God.
No one thinks you're a sex offender. No one thinks it's even sexual to be naked, unless you're actively having sex. And no one makes it weird. You can be naked in public parks to soak up sun. On beaches. Swim naked in lakes. Saunas are all naked. Mixed sex areas and spas and saunas are naked with no issues, and in general, it's just not an issue. Oh man. Europe has so many different countries.
Right.
Something that is completely normal where I live could be frowned upon as soon as I cross the next border. But in general we tip for good service.
Okay.
Not because we have to. A rude waitress won't get tipped by me. Also, we usually remove our shoes before we enter a home. And yep, free healthcare.
They must be Swedish.
Mailman doesn't leave packages unattended on your porch. He either gives you it on the doorstep, or you go get it at the post office. Much less infuriating than getting it stolen or thrown across your yard by a mailman. I praise you, mailman, leaving packages in front of the door and it not getting stolen even in cities. Where I'm from, mailman will just give the package to a neighbor. If you are not home,
What?
if you live in an apartment, someone will let the postman in, and he will drop the parcel in the hallway somewhere for you to stumble over it. If you want a parcel to be delivered securely, you can send it with the demand of a signature. Then the postman will only hand it over to you directly, or give you a notice that a parcel is waiting at the post office. But that only happens for expensive goods or sensitive documents like contracts.
That is, I definitely wouldn't get my mail. Tell the postman to get my mail to my neighbor or nothing like that. That would be a shocker. But I mean, we have mailboxes. Mailman just stick the mail in there. Usually they bring it up to your door. I think it's the same way when we stayed at an apartment. I think they just run boxes to your door, like Amazon. We got mail and come like FedEx and all those things. Like they'll bring it to your door and stuff. But there was, I think, I mean, it's probably still happening now where people would go up to other people's houses and doors and try to take their boxes and stuff of things they ordered. So that is a thing that does happen, man.
I don't know about Europe, but here in the Netherlands we have a TV program named Spuitmenselijken, which translates to squirt inject, same word for both and swallow.
What?
It's about sex and drugs, and they educate younger people about literally everything. The people who present the program will try drugs and talk about how that makes them feel. They also talk very open about sex and are not shy to show it. It's a really interesting program, to be honest.
That is interesting.
Because they show how to do stuff safely instead of saying don't do drugs and don't have sex. It educates people much better. But yeah, I cannot see Spuitmenselijken in America.
Definitely not.
The amount of people who still smoke, especially smoking in restaurants.
What?
Nothing like sitting in a beautiful cafe and having someone at the table next to you light up just as your food arrives. Also putting tobacco in weed.
Dang.
Nudity. Not so much since the coof came around.
Coof.
But people have no issues being naked here. One of my neighbors loves to go topless when it gets super hot out. It would be a lot better if she wasn't 95. Edit yes. Coof.
Oh my god, George, 95 age, ain't no shame in her game at all. She said, hey, when it's hot, I gotta let them drop.
It would be a lot better if she wasn't 95.
Oh my god.
Edit yes. Coof is referring to the SARS-CoV-2 that is currently making the entire world crazy. It is a term for everyone. You sit and be happy. Taking the bus. There is so much stigma around public transport in the US, especially buses. And in Europe it's just a totally normal way to get around, because nobody wants to deal with driving and parking in a big city. Also, from an employer's perspective, 25 plus vacation days minimum for all employees, and unlimited sick days. The absolute horror. I'm in the US and I've used my fair share of buses to get around. In fact, my city made buses free for everyone. You just get in and sit down. No questions asked. The buses here are terribly inefficient. It takes literally 45 minutes to an hour to get 3 miles down the road.
Oh my god.
The way the routes are split up. Something that would be a 30-minute walk would actually require you to ride to the transit for 45 minutes.
You might as well walk.
And then wait 15 minutes for your next bus. And then it would be another 15-minute ride. So just getting to a grocery store and back again would be an ordeal. That takes up half of your day. This is why a lot of hiring managers have flat out told me that they won't hire me if I have to take a bus. It's not considered a reliable form of transportation at all. This is pretty much it in a nutshell. My first experience with a bus was waiting about 45 minutes to travel maybe a mile to a mile and a half, then getting off, waiting 45 minutes to go another mile and a half.
Oh my god.
Then walking like a half mile home. Granted, I don't really live in a huge city or anything. It's a town of about 100,000. But getting between any two random points in a city via bus tends to be less efficient than walking. The only exception I've really noticed is that, in my town at least, the routes between campus and major apartment complexes are pretty good. So I can at least take the bus to class. But even then I sometimes work, also on campus. And if I have to work odd hours of the night, I'll usually have to either walk like 4 miles or take an Uber to get to and from work. If your commute happens to be a longer route going between two central communication hubs, it can be okay. Otherwise bus service here is ass in my experience.
They sound like they gotta be in New York or something. It's either New York or California. Cause really just, he said it was a small town, but it had to be city like. It had to be. That is horrible. You might as well walk. You might as well walk everywhere. Like 3 miles and it take 45 minutes. Yeah, transportation here. So I mean, down here, I'll never get on a bus. I would never. That is horrible. I just can't see myself wasting a whole day sitting on a bus to go down the street. That's crazy.
Having an electric kettle. Many people I know have electric kettles. Granted, they tend to be immigrants. But still, it's not hard to find them. And they cost like 20 on Amazon. My wife is a coffee drinker, but I'm a tea guy, so I use the kettle a lot. We also use it to preheat water for any cooking, since it's usually faster than the stove. Most Americans are coffee drinkers. That's probably why they don't bother getting a kettle.
Facts.
Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Consider subscribing for more videos.
This was good. Definitely funny, but dang, this is one of those things, man. I see nudity was a big deal on this one. Nudity was a big deal. I guess that would shock me because I'm not used to just walking around seeing people. That would be something that would shock me for sure. But I feel like that definitely was most of the video. But I know there are places that it's acceptable in the U.S. I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure you can Google it and find out which one. But I mean, hey, different strokes, different folks. That's what you like. That's what you do. That's just on you. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I have for this video, guys. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. Send out more recommendations. Hey, horrific. That's normal in Europe. Can't wait to get there. Can't wait to see what I be horrified about. Maybe I won't be horrified. I'm not a person. I'm not quick to judge or quick to complain or nothing like that. So, but it's gonna be interesting to see. But that's all I have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.